Okay, hi everyone. It's Nigel from the Painters Podcast. Today I'm here with Simone from Intergrain. She's just come in to say a quick hi and tell us a bit about her story and what she's done. And she from where she started, and today now obviously representing Intergrain and out there working with you guys. And actually, a lot of the tradies out there may already know her from past experiences. So I'd like to welcome you to the Painters Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Nigel. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. So look, I guess starting, could you tell us a bit of your history, where you started from and those sorts of things?
Yeah.
With where you've been.
Well, I originally wanted to be a hairdresser.
Yep.
But I apparently didn't have the right language for it. Don't know why. So then I actually really wanted to be a builder.
Yep.
So I went all around Ballarat, which is my old hometown.
Yep.
Looking for either a building apprenticeship or joinery, because
Yes.
I loved making custom-made furniture.
Yep.
So I got rejected a lot of times.
Yes.
A lot of times.
Yep.
I think my rejection letters were about this thick. So
Okay.
it's about 152 of them to be exact.
Gee, and you kept going.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kept
But
going.
good on you. That shows you were, dedicated to get there.
I was keen.
Yes.
But I was actually signed up through a jobs program, like a jobs a pathway program.
Yep.
To try and get me having an apprenticeship.
Yep.
And an offer came up to become a driver for a painter because he had lost his license.
Okay. We
So-
don't hear that often.
No. So I actually started being his driver and started painting with him and really enjoyed it.
Yep.
And I was with him for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And during that period, we were a big Dulux customer.
Yep.
So they had a job going as well, and I went through the interview process and started working at Dulux casually and doing my painting apprenticeship as well.
Nice.
Because I always like working myself to the bone.
Yep. Exactly.
So-
You're just trying to get ahead.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I was working there and then ended up getting signed off my painting apprenticeship.
Yep.
Because my boss was getting out of the painting game and going into excavating.
Okay.
So
Didn't need you driving there.
he didn't know. He got his license back.
Yeah.
And he actually had 2 female apprentices, which was really cool.
Brilliant. Yep.
And the job sites that we used to work on also had a female plumber and 2 female electricians.
Nice.
So it was a very female-dominated work site,
Beautiful. Yep.
which was really
That'd
great.
be really good.
It
Yeah.
was good fun.
Yeah.
It was good fun. And it was quite diverse, especially back in those days. So that was about 20 odd years ago.
We won't say exactly when, but 20
Yeah, 20 odd.
Yeah.
So having women in all sorts of trades was really cool and really
Yeah.
interesting and unheard of. And
Yep.
that was back when you would actually get a government funding for putting on a woman in a
Okay.
non-traditional trade,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. So we've come a long way, which is awesome.
Yep.
And then started working at Dulux, and I was there casual and just loved it. And I have been there for 18 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I had a quick stint where I left for 10 months and came back. I saw the light and I bleed blue.
Yep. Yeah.
But
It's okay. It's good.
so I've gone from working in the store, and I was team leader at the store in Ballarat, and I was helping out in Geelong, Dulux Trade Centre as well.
Yep.
And then an opportunity came to become the sales rep for Vic West. So it was looking after Ballarat, so regional Victoria, so Ballarat, Bendigo, Swan Hill, Horsham, and everything in between.
Yep.
Which was good fun.
Good. Out on the road a lot.
Loved it, yeah, and good country folk.
Yeah.
I love country painters.
Yep. Yeah, they're a different breed.
They are. They're the best breed.
Completely. Yeah.
They're the best breed. And they're my type of breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a secret country girl.
Yep.
Ballarat. That's right. And then I wanted to move to Queensland.
Yep.
So I ended up getting a store manager's role. So I went back into a store
Yep.
in South Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
and then went back out repping and looked after a lot of housing.
Yep.
So, oh no, I originally went to Northern Rivers, sorry. So back to the country.
Yep.
Best territory in Australia.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had Grafton, Yamba, Byron Bay, Ballina, Lismore,
Yep.
Tweed. It was just, the best, the
Yeah.
coast. So they're a mixture between surfy country.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Which is fun and interesting. And
You would have spent a bit of time at the beach.
no, I'm actually allergic to salt water, so
Okay.
I don't really
Don't
like
go
the
to the beach. Okay, well,
No.
that fixes that then.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the beach, and I hate sand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little fun fact about me.
Yeah, there you go.
So then, moved back up to Brizzy. So I was down the coast then, moved to Brizzy, and that's when I went into the housing role, looking after new housing painters and site supervisors, which was really fun.
Yep.
Then had a baby and came back and repped for a little bit more, and now I've came over to Cabot. So I look after Intergrain, which is our wood care coatings, all of our ultra premium range, and look after trade painters, builders, architects. And I also look after our flooring segment, which is flooring distribution, floor sanders for Queensland, which was really cool.
Yeah, cool. And throw in, you picked up a little award only last week.
I did.
You did.
I
So
did.
tell us about that. That was a nice surprise for you.
It was a very lovely surprise. So I just won National Salesperson or Sales Professional of the Year for Cabot.
Yeah. So congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
When I saw the news, I thought, good on you.
Yeah, it's
You know.
my first ever national award in 18 years. So I'm
Yep.
very
So,
proud.
of course you are.
Yeah.
No, brilliant.
So I was a high school dropout and apprentice painter to be recognised for being professional and still not losing myself, and in such an awesome company. It's been really fun.
It's been, well, it shows. I mean, and this is, look, getting people like yourself in to talk about this stuff. You know, a lot of people out there, high school dropout. I never finished high school, you know, and people say all the time that, well, you have to finish high school, you have to get a degree, you have to go to university, you have to do this, you have to do that. You don't. There are so many other aspects, and you know that's why I wanted to talk to you and interview, you know, and have a chat about what you've done and what you do and whatnot, because you're a perfect example of someone that, and we've spoken, I don't know how many times, but someone that has faced adversity and has come out the other side and excelled in what you've done as you've done it and achieved it as you've gone.
Yeah.
And that's all anybody can want.
Yeah.
Nobody wants anything else but to reach the pinnacle and reach what their goals are. And we deal so much with young men and women that can't think past tomorrow, let alone, you know, they have their dreams and their aspirations and where they want to be. And I know you probably the same. I know I never thought I was going to be where I am today. You probably thought the same when you're a teenager as well. You know, we didn't know our pathways, but people today generally, we don't know where we're going to go, where we're going to start, or what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
So as you said, you started getting, you know, knockbacks because you wanted to be a builder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly became a driver for a painter because he lost his license.
Yeah.
To going through all those steps to then winning Salesperson of the Year.
Yeah.
Not realising, you know what I mean? When you think back at it, it's, you know, and certainly as a young woman in a country town, you probably never thought that you'd be where you are today.
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
No. And I talk about you often.
Yeah.
You know, particularly to the young women coming into the trade, and use you as an example, and I hope that's okay. You know, because and say, look, it's not a matter of you know where you start. It's not where you start. It's where you finish.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can continue to grow and continue to do what you're wanting to do, that's all positive.
And school's not for everyone.
No.
Which it wasn't for me. I can't sit in a classroom.
No.
Even when we have meetings, I'm the fidgeter. I'm the one that's sitting in the back, all antsy, and like that will never change.
No.
And that's okay. And we're okay with that.
Yeah.
But don't try and pigeonhole yourself, and we need more tradies.
Oh, 100%.
Not everyone is set up for university, but we need more tradesmen. People, we need more tradies.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to need more and more.
Yeah.
It's never going to change. There's talking about in the future that, they're going to be able to build houses without tradespeople, that machines are going to do it and things like that. As a painter, a machine's never going to be able to go in and paint someone's house with furniture in it. The people aren't going to be able to do those sorts of things. We see on, Facebook, TikTok, all of those sorts of things, the sprayers that are now doing it, outsides of buildings and the drones and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's fine for those sorts of things. They'll get overspray all over the place and then they've got to clean it off. Well, who's going to do that? They're going to need someone to go and do that and then tidy up and paint and do those sorts of things. So we're never going to, as a trade, lose our workload. Our workload's double than any other trade because we've got the repaint market and the reno market as well as the new build. So, career path wise, start somewhere like you did as an apprentice. Start there and then the world opens up.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. And that's one of the things that really out there people aren't aware of. Wage wise, where people are today in trades, I saw some statistics. I was at a meeting the other day, and the statistic actually showed that a doctor going to university and a person starting their apprenticeship, by the time the person starting their apprenticeship and then a doctor going into a specialty area of that, they're in their mid to late 40s before they catch up to the tradie that started their apprenticeship. Because by the time they pay their HECS debts off and they pay all of those things off and they reach the same level, that they're then at that age looking at buying a house, where I know we've got 21-year-old apprentices that have bought houses. It's chalk and cheese. People don't realise that there is life outside university. So, and you're a perfect example of it.
You
can
also do your trade in the mines too. You can be a painter in the mines.
You can. I don't know if I'd like it. That's me personally, because you're out in the mines. It's limited in areas because it's very specific about the type of training that you do out there. A lot of spray, obviously, because they're spraying most of the stuff up there. If you're you're getting into the dongers and maybe doing repaints and things like that, but the mine-specific stuff, not saying there's anything wrong with it, because we need painters out there. The same as we need line markers, the same as we need, anything to do, anything they build today, we paint. Whether it be the roads, whether it be a high rise, whether it be whatever. Machinery. It all needs painting. So, So do you mind me asking, and this is off the cuff, how did you find it as a woman coming into the trades? Like you said, you're pretty lucky because you had a lot of women on your job sites and those sorts of things. But how do you think you found it, or how did you find it compared to, I guess, other areas where, in the male-dominated areas, coming through that time?
It was hard at first. But I absolutely loved it. And when we were a little bit quiet, because my boss was a bit of a stickler for letting me on the roller. Took him a long time. So I'd get out with the boys and dig stump holes and stuff like that while I was doing my painting. Which was
whatever
fun.
was needed to be done.
That's right. But I loved it, and as you said, I was very, very lucky having so many women around me. And having come from a family of women as well. We are very strong and independent. Thanks, Mum. But I've always been able to hold my ground. I could always have a good laugh. I wasn't. Back 20 years ago, it's a bit hard. Like, you could have different conversations than what you could on the job site now. I think coming into it now would be a little bit more difficult. But just don't let things hurt you personally, and just have a bit of fun. And just be yourself. That's the only advice I could give. But no, I did love it. I did love it.
No, great. And then what about now? What's different now I mean, work-wise, once again, you are in a male-dominated industry still, obviously, in painting and construction. But how do you find that, I guess, as a qualified painter, how do you find that people react to yourself compared to other representatives that may not be qualified?
At first, when they first meet me, they just think I'm a dumb blonde. But once I get talking to people and let them know my background, they open up to me a lot more, which is great. I really struggled when I first moved to Queensland. A lot of the painters would come in and didn't want to speak to me, and then when I was leaving the store, the painters that gave me a hard time when I first started were very upset that I was leaving. So it's just, it's very up and down. Some people are quite accepting, or most people are quite accepting and greet you with open arms, and it's just a very small minority. But they're the ones that actually end up appreciating you a lot more. Yeah,
well, I know myself personally. Obviously I'm a painter. But I still get quizzed. I regularly get quizzed. So people, okay, particularly our Facebook group, we've got about 8,500 painters on it. Yeah. And a high majority of them don't know who I am. It's interesting. It's really interesting, particularly because we get a lot of churn. I mean, this week we've had over 100 new people join the Facebook group. So they don't necessarily know who I am. They see that I'm on there and those sorts of things. And then suddenly they'll pick up the phone and ask a question, and I get all the weird, wonderful, how Simone, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with what would you do with, a concrete surface? And I get sent photos and things like that and tested, not really, they don't realise that I'm, obviously started Aussie Painters, let alone I'm actually a painter. So and now painting trainer as well. So it's interesting to watch how an industry, until you build that trust, and like you said before, when you first came in, they didn't want to have a bar of you, but as soon as you've got that little bit of trust, then suddenly it opens up. And that's a really big thing, I think, for anyone, and for everyone out there listening. This is where it's one of those things that you need to have faith and trust in the person that you're working with. I mean, I don't know how many times that I used to go to my paint rep and ask them, hey, look, I'm not sure about this. Can you help me? Even today, I still make calls because I don't know what the latest products are. There's product changes all the time. I tell the guys when they ring in, had one the other day, actually yesterday, I had a painter ring me. He's been asked to quote a whole heap of car parks with sign writing to go on the bitumen. Now he said, what should I use? And I said, I don't know. I said, ring your rep. They're the ones, you guys are the ones with the knowledge. We don't have that knowledge unless we're specified in that area. I had Jack on the other week who does resin flooring. So, all the 2-pack stuff, or some single and 2-pack, but had him on here and had a long chat to him. And the differences, the stuff I learned from him just in our couple of hours that we spent together is completely, mind-blowing to what it was when I learnt it. Even though I teach it, I can teach with the products that I use all the time or I've used in the past. But when you start getting into all these other areas and other products, it's completely different. And that's where the guys have got to reach out to yourself and to people like you for their products, their product knowledge.
I still get a couple of my old painters ringing me about paint questions. So I still have that faith in me and make sure that I like to make sure I'm still up to date with all of our innovation and everything as well too. But I also thought I was an expert in wood care before I started working in wood care.
That's it.
And now I am an expert in wood care.
Because now you teach it.
There's a lot to learn, especially when you just have that one specific segment that you look after. So
because you're so niche now, you're specialised, niched into that market. So no, great. Well, I guess, have you got any advice for anyone out there that might be thinking about getting into the trades or considering looking at pathways? And I mean, I'm talking, I guess, as much as the guys, we're getting good numbers. Actually, we've got about 30% of our applicants these days, could be slightly higher, actually female.
I love that.
So we're getting a lot. I'd have to check. Kate's not here this week, but she's off studying. But I'd have to check with her. But I have a funny feeling she said to me before she went, we actually had more women applying for apprenticeships than we did guys.
That's great. I
So
love that.
yeah, so
That's a testament to you, Nigel.
yeah. Well,
Seriously.
no, it's not. It's you know, it's a team effort. It's an industry thing. It's you know, the industry's moving. 50% of the available workforce out there are female.
Yeah.
So no one's tapped into that market to access those people, but no one's thought, hey, I want to go into construction.
Yeah.
People talk about going to construction. You wanted to go in as a builder.
Yeah.
Okay. You wanted to dig holes and do all of that sort of stuff. You know, you ended
And
up
build stuff.
and build stuff, not knowing that we just as painters make the builder stuff pretty.
Yeah. We do.
So you went to the pretty side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we, you know, so with that, 50% of the marketplace is untapped. So we've got to educate that 50% of the marketplace when we're talking moving into construction. Construction isn't necessarily digging holes.
Yeah, correct.
Which is the perception out there. If, you know, and that's been, you know, I was at a forum earlier this week, Tuesday. And, you know, when I got up and talked at the forum, I started talking about painting, and people after came to me and said, I never realised painting was so diverse.
Yeah.
You know, you think of painting, they think of the house painter.
Yeah.
You know, you think, but then when you start talking about the lines, you know, painting the bitumen roads, you talk about, you know, the repainting of buildings. They're talking in Queensland at the moment about the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's about the Olympics. So they're building. We're painting. We're going to have to paint it all again before the Olympics gets here in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
But people don't forward think that way. It's like the Queensland government came out here saying they need 500 handovers of houses a day for more than the next decade.
Wow. Well, we can't do that without tradies.
We can't do that without tradies.
Yeah.
But for painting, all of those have got to be painted again in 10 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
So 500 houses that hand over today are another 500 houses in 6 to 8 years' time that have got to be painted again.
Yeah.
So we're lucky as the painting trade
Absolutely.
to have that stuff that most people aren't aware of.
Even so much diversity. Again, you can be a decking specialist.
Yeah.
So
well, I specialised in lead paint removal and painting old Queenslanders. That's what we specialised in my business. I had 2 crews that all they did was prepare the houses for painting. Yeah. And that was for us as well as for other painters.
Yeah.
You know, and I know a lot of the guys out there listening now, I used to do it for them.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. So, but that's what we did. We actually went because no one wanted to touch lead-based paint when it first came in the early 2000s. And so I saw that as a niche market area that we could get into. And I trained the guys and we worked in that marketplace, and it was great. You know, it was a great moment. It wasn't fun sanding off in the tarps and 100-degree heat. That wasn't the fun part, you know, but financially it was good. And financially for the staff, it was great. They were on top dollar doing that sort of work, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's you just find where you can work.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, the guys that I had doing that, they weren't painters. So we actually trained them to become prep surface professionals, and then moved some of them into, once they reached that point, then started bringing them into working with the guys on the painting.
Yeah.
So, and started them as labourers and then put them on as apprentices. So, you know, so just looking at that expansion for them. And I know some of them I'm still in contact with regularly.
They're great.
You know, so it's, I think that, you know, as I said earlier, where you started, your journey. Hey,
it's not where you end.
It's not where you end. And this is one thing that everyone out there has to understand.
Yeah.
You know, and particularly those coming into not knowing what they want to do, moving into construction isn't a bad thing.
Oh, and even moving into a store, if it's not for you, or into another trade. Like, you're not locked in to just being a painter or just being a sparky. Right?
Exactly. So, well, thank you for coming in and joining us.
Thank you.
If you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
And
we'll be back.
You'll be back. And guys, hey, listen, if you've got any questions and want to reach out to Simone, you know, feel free. We can, you know, contact us. We can forward on the details. I'd say a lot of you already have her details anyway. So there. So, you know, I know she's here to help you guys, and that's what she does. So look, enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to catch up soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now.